Hello everyone, welcome back to Career Day. I've got a very special guest here with me today, Miss Bernadette. How are you?
I am doing fine.
Good, good. It's good to have you. So let's just start out. Go ahead and introduce yourself because you wear many hats at the workforce. So let's just start with that. Introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Okay, my name is Bernadette Coffey. I'm the project director at Workforce Solutions of the Concho Valley. I started many years ago as a switchboard operator. You don't even have those anymore. And so through all of that time, just with a high school diploma, and through that time, I've worked in almost every portion of Workforce Solutions. Up until now, I'm the project director.
Wow, that is fabulous. So the true come-up story. Started from the...
It's the true come-up story.
Yeah.
I literally was switchboard operator, office manager, secretary, and then I also worked in the programs. Some of those programs I'll talk about today, where we work with people, helping them find work with employers, helping them find job seekers, also working with our special programs. At that time, we had programs called Job Corps, where we actually sent youth to residential training programs, and then we also had programs where we work with, we have a lot of partner agencies, Health and Human Services. We service all of their customers that receive benefits through them, and I'll talk a little bit about those programs. Everything about us, though, is all about work. So it's in our name, and it's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. And it's great because the reason why we point this out, and I wanted you to share your stories because you've been through all of it, so you are the perfect person to help others through their workforce journey.
And what's really exciting is when you look at the staff that we have, education is a real important thing. And we have people some that have high school diplomas, some that have associates, bachelor's, and master's degrees. We also have people who have actually received services there at Workforce and have come in. So that's what we want to let people know, that it doesn't matter where you start, it matters where you end.
There you go. Good message right there. Well, okay, so let's just kind of start at the beginning. So we're going to start with the age-old question. What is the workforce?
First of all, it is not the unemployment office. A lot of people think it's the unemployment office. Workforce is all about putting people to work. Some of the things that we do, we work with people who receive unemployment to provide them services on how to access jobs in our area. We work with them on resumes. We work with them on interviewing. We do mock interviews. We work with providing them services to help them get back into the job market. So Workforce is all about work. Even all of the partners that we work with, every department we have, our focus is on work. So we're all about work.
Yeah, and helping people succeed. That's the goal, right?
And remembering that success is different for everyone. And so that's what we do, is we focus on what is success to each individual person.
Wonderful. So yeah, you kind of mentioned that a little bit, but who are your clients? Who are your customers?
I tell people we have everybody from someone who may not speak English, that may be working with some of our partners, Howard College, through the English as a second language. We have all the way up to somebody that may have their master's degree. We even have people working on their PhD, because it just depends. Remembering that we have two groups of customers. One are the job seekers, but our customer is businesses. In Texas, employers pay taxes, and those taxes are funneled through for us to help provide services to businesses. So those are services. We have services we provide to businesses that are free of charge. Things that sometimes you'll see advertisements for things for people to do, and we do them at Workforce. As part of just services that we offer our employers.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, you mentioned Howard College being one of your partners. Who else are you partnering with?
We really have quite a few partners. We partner with a lot of community agencies to provide services. We have some of our customers may be attending Angelo State University. Some may be attending Howard. We even have some that may be attending Central Texas, just different, because that under our training programs, it can be almost anywhere there's a training provider. We also have a lot of community partners that we work with. We work with Community Action Agency. We work with the Homeless Coalition. We work with Salvation Army. We work with Goodwill. So we're just threaded all through the community.
Yeah, I was about to say, who don't you work with? That's easier, maybe easier to answer. Well, fantastic. So when it comes to the services, like you said, you mentioned a few earlier, but let's kind of go in depth, the programs and services that you offer. Yeah.
Okay, and the first part is I call our talent engagement section, and what that is that's the portion that covers our resource room. They're the people that cover our front desk area, and in that resource room we have people who will work with you on helping you make sure you get to the places you need to, as far as utilizing our computers. We have access to printers and fax machines, things for job seekers to use. We also have a facilitator that actually facilitates job readiness classes, which would be the work skills, money literacy, things that you don't think about, working with interviewing and applications, the difference between doing paper applications and applications online. We have an assessment coordinator that works with providing different types of assessments. We have employers that send their customers to us for testing, for aptitude testing. We have a program that's called Work Keys, which one of our largest employers here in town uses before they hire people, and also uses it as a way for them to promote people. So we have quite a bit in that portion. And then we also have our business services, which actually go out one-on-one, meeting with employers, finding out what employer needs are, setting up job fairs, and sometimes doing the hard work of looking at the labor market statistics, looking at, okay, this employer says, I'm having a hard time finding people, looking at, okay, what is it you're paying? Now we have, and I've said it before, they talk about the Great Resignation, but we really have the Great Migration, which means people are finding out, because of what's happened the past 2 years, that they can do a little different, or maybe they're more valuable than they thought, and so they're looking for salary. So if you're asking for somebody to work for $8 an hour, and they can go up the road and work for somebody for $10, $12 an hour, then that's what's going to happen. And so sometimes we have to do those hard talks with businesses. Our job is to make sure businesses are getting the assistance they need, so we can see what their needs are, so we can make sure the job seekers we send out are meeting their needs. And we also have our Choices program. And what that program done is the program that I talked about, Health and Human Services. They refer people to us who receive two types of assistance. The one is the temporary assistance to needy families, which is actually a cash benefit. And then they have the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which is the old food stamp program, where they actually get so much that they can use to buy groceries and things. And so, first thing we do is we kind of I try and dismiss that deal that people on those services don't want to work. Or there's some people who don't, but really we see a lot of people that do. Maybe they have barriers, and that's what our job is, to help remove those barriers so that they're able to do whatever success is, whether it's to get training so that they can get a better job, or whether it's to actually just go to work. So we work with them on that. They have a case manager that works with them. And then our other program is our Childcare Program, and it has two parts to that, and we'll have someone that will talk about that, the assistance that's provided to the providers and assistance provided to participants, people who actually receive some type of supplement, and they're receiving childcare services. And then our last program is the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act program, and that program, a lot of people see it as just a training program. We've really been focusing on making sure people realize that it's a program to help with that intensive job search. Maybe you need to come to a job club where we're offering extra assistance with you on, okay, you've been looking for work, you haven't found a job, what are some things we need to do? Let's look at your resume. You may have a resume, you may need 5 resumes, depending on your experience. But we also, that is our training arm. So in that we do a lot of short-term training. That's where when we work with those other partners, where that program would come into fact. So we do we've had a lot of CDL drivers that come out of that. We've had a lot of the CNAs, and we've had people who've come in the program that have been in, the first thing they needed was their GED. And so one of our perfect examples is somebody came in, needed their GED, got their CNA, stayed on to get their LVN, and working on finishing up with their RN.
Wow.
So, and that's the kind of thing that we really like to see happen. That's the thing that makes a difference, and it really affects our community.
Yeah, really. And it, basically, it's y'all are with them every step of the way, because a lot of this can be overwhelming. Is that what you see a lot?
It's very overwhelming, because when you have someone comes in, even though they might think, okay, I need a job, But if they don't have a place to stay, if they
Right.
don't have, if they're afraid of getting their lights cut off, their water cut off, or they need something for their children, they don't hear what you have to say about job.
Right.
They don't hear what an employer wants. Those needs have to be met. And that's where those other partners that we work with in the community, we can work on getting those needs met.
Yeah.
So we might be working with West Texas Counseling and Guidance to get them some type of counseling, MHMR do some type of counseling. So we have a lot of different ways that we incorporate utilizing our community resources to help meet the needs of our customers.
Yeah, and I'm glad you pointed that out, because there are so many factors at play that people have to deal with. And like you said, you're basically setting them up for success, whatever that looks like to them. So it's, you know, it's not a one size fits all.
No, it's not. And for some people, it may be the fact of I have never worked. And so they might be in one of the programs that TANF program I talked about. That would be a program that we can do what we call subsidized employment, where we work with an employer to help that person get training, and we pay the salary for that person while they're doing training for a limited amount of time. And we also have a program where that we can work with them for on-the-job training, where we pay up to 50% reimbursed to an employer while someone is learning a trade. So we have a lot of different programs that are available, that are intertwined, that work with us. I wanted to make sure I talked about some of the other partners we have that are located with us. They're in the Workforce Center. We have vocational rehabilitation. Guess what? Their main thing is on helping people get a job or helping people keep a job. Through that program, they can get in there. Maybe you're working and something happens and you need some type of accommodation. Maybe it's too expensive for the employer, but it might be something that they can help with. So they do that. We have veteran services. And we're real big on veterans. We really back our veterans. We're involved very thickly in the community in providing services to veterans. We have those that work with those who have significant barriers, that are things that are stopping them from being able to be successful in finding employment. We have some people that come that don't know what benefits as a veteran they might have. We make sure they meet that. So those are people that we have located in our office to be able to help customers. I wanted to make sure that we talked about some of our other partners. We have AARP, which is a 55 plus program. They have been out of the office for the past couple of years. The past 2 years changed everybody, but we're getting that ramped back up, so we'll have people in the office to be able to help with that. And we do have access to a Job Corps recruiter. The Job Corps centers are run separately now, but they do have recruiters that travel in our area. So if we have somebody between that age of 16 and I believe they go up to 26, there's a possibility for them to work on getting their high school diploma, getting college courses, and getting some type of vocational occupational training on site, and they provide a place for them to live. So those are just some of the partners that we work with there. What we do is if it's something we don't have, we reach out in the community and we try and be that connector.
Y'all find it.
Right, we find it. That's our job. We find it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for all this information. We covered a lot. And so if anybody, you know, if they're still on the fence whether or not they should come in, what would you say to them?
I'd say come in and ask the question. Our front desk is very, they're very learned. They know the programs that we have available. If you come in and say, I don't know where I want to start, they will at least start getting you registered. We have a database, the workintexas.com. That database has thousands and thousands of jobs. You can also look anywhere in Texas. It's hooked up with Indeed.com. So it's a place, if you don't even have a place to be able to come and actually do a job search. Or if you come in and you say, I think I want training, they can let you do the orientation and make sure you get to the right people. So and vocational rehab is there in our office also. So if that's something you say, well, I got injured, I'm not able to do that type of work, they'll know to get someone up for you to do, for you to see there. If you come in, and we've had people that we've had to call and maybe call the mental health deputies. So it may be that they may need a referral to other community resources before they even ready to come to us. We work with like Galilee. We work with almost any of the agency, public housing authority. We try and make sure we're involved with everything that's going on in our community, so we can make sure we have those resources for our customers.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for coming on and telling us all about it. Do you have any final thoughts or messages that you want to share?
I really don't. I think I talked a lot, but one thing I do want to tell people is that it doesn't matter where you start. It just matters where you end. And we're a great place to start.
Yes. Amen to that. And we're going to finish with that, folks, because I can't top that. So thank you again so much for coming on and telling us about it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. We'll see you next time on Career Day. Hey everybody, welcome back to Career Day. I've got two beautiful ladies right here with me. So go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us what you do.
My name's Desiree Valeriano, and I am the Childcare Services Lead Client Service Specialist. I make parents eligible for the CCS program.
Fantastic.
My name is Lene McClure, and I am the Childcare Services Texas Rising Star Mentor.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for coming on the show today. As you guessed, we're talking anything and everything childcare. So let's just kind of start at the beginning. If someone comes in, they need childcare, where do they even start? How does that work?
They can pick up an application at the front desk, and they can come in and speak with one of us. They would need to either have a childcare spot already ready to go, or they can also pick up a provider listing from us and start looking for a spot.
Okay, fantastic. So y'all can tell them who is offering that childcare.
Yes.
Wonderful. Fantastic. Okay, well, what's next? Take us through the process.
So anyone working 25 hours a week or in school 25 hours a week, or a combination of both, they can qualify. They just have to be under our income guidelines and living in the Concho Valley. So the parents that have a spot in daycare already, we can get them processed pretty quickly.
Okay.
If they don't have a spot in daycare, but they are eligible, they can get on our wait list and just kind of wait there until they find a spot. Our wait list is pretty big right now, but they're mainly parents that don't have a spot to start. So they would just need to apply. They'd have to have IDs, birth certificates. We do ask for 3 months worth of pay stubs for each parent in the home, just to make sure they're eligible. And then we also have what's called an initial job search intake right now.
Okay.
So even if someone isn't working right now, or say they're not meeting the 25 hours a week to be eligible, we can get them free care for 3 months while they look for work. And at the end of 3 months, they would just have to prove that they are working, and they'd be eligible for the rest of the year.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. So, and y'all will walk them through that process, of course.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. What else? What else? Tell me more. I'm learning so much.
It's actually, a lot of people think that it's free daycare, and it's not. It is based off of their gross income and family size. So it's a scholarship is what we call it.
Right.
Because daycare is pretty expensive. It's regular daycare is near $500 a month just for toddler and down. But yeah, it is based off gross income and family size. And then we have parents who are just full-time students and aren't working. We can help them too, as long as they're meeting the 25 hours a week with their credits.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Wonderful. Great information. Okay. Well, let's talk about the Texas Rising Star. Let's start at the beginning. Tell us everything.
Okay, well, I actually work on the provider side with daycare staff, teachers, and directors. And so Texas Rising Star is a voluntary program that childcare providers can enroll in that helps them reach above Texas minimum standards. So if you are in a Texas Rising Star facility, you know that your child is getting quality care while they're in there. And this program is set up. We have an assessor and a mentor. I go in and help coach teachers and help them learn about what does it look like to be a quality center. And so I work with the staff and the directors, and then we have an assessor that comes in and actually does an evaluation of the center. And from that point, they will find out whether that they are a 2-star up to a 4-star center. So it's like a hotel rating. But this is statewide, and so we do this for our children that receive scholarships. So.
Wow, that's interesting. So you said, you know, you're a mentor, so people can reach out to you and kind of, well, where do I begin? That's what you're for.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's like a coach situation,
Yeah.
and so I will go in and work directly in the classroom with the teachers, because there are research-based strategies that we know work with early learning programs. And so we want to be sure that those strategies are developmentally appropriate for those children. So we're not asking a 3-year-old to do something that they're not equipped to do yet. We might say, oh, well, they're going to have to do that when they're 4, so they might as well start that at 3. Well, no, you treat a 3-year-old like a 3-year-old, and you treat a 4-year-old like a 4-year-old, because that developmentally milestone changes throughout the year. And so we want to make sure that those teachers understand what the milestones are and what they are asking children to do.
Right.
So.
Wow, good information. Good information. Wonderful. So let's talk about the facilities in the Concho Valley. How many are there?
Right.
I mean,
Well,
what's that look like?
We actually have 55 providers that work with us as child care service providers.
Okay.
And out of those 55, we have had 9 that have said, yes, we want to step up for that 3-year period that we certify them. And so they are going above and beyond our Texas minimum standards. And so those child care centers that are Texas Rising Star certified are Around the Clock, Eden Community Child Care Center, the Sterling City Methodist Church Preschool, the Gingerbread House, Goodfellow Air Force Base and Early Child Development Center, the Goodfellow Air Force Base School Age, Knights Castle, and the Little Folks Dude Ranch. And so we also have a new child care services provider that is fixing to open up next week.
Yes.
And that facility is named the Willow Tree. So there'll be a new child care provider here in the Concho Valley.
Fantastic. They're such cute names. I'm smiling because they're all so cute. Like, I just love the names. Yeah, and so like you said, they're going above and beyond. So let's talk a little bit about this new child care facility. When is that expected? Do we know
it should start, I believe, next Monday.
Okay.
And so they are accepting children at this time, so you would have to call them directly to learn about the positions that they have open.
Fantastic. So, I mean, obviously, they're, like you said, they're going above and beyond. But what are some of the other benefits that they can, have with this program?
One of the things as a child care services provider or a Texas Rising Star provider, we actually provide training for those teachers. I don't know if you know or not, but child care people have to have professional development training. Not just anybody can work in a daycare. You have to have graduated from high school, and there are certain standards that the state has set. And so one of those is you have to receive at least 24 hours of professional development training. For our Texas Rising Star centers, they have to have 30 hours of training a year, and the directors have to have 36.
Wow.
And so we provide that either through face-to-face conferences, or since our COVID situation, we are able to do Zoom. And so the neat thing about the Zoom experience is that we are lucky enough to be able to bring quality experts in child development field to come in and actually work directly with our CCS and our TRS centers.
Yeah.
So that's a great example.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. And I mean, you basically provide it all. Right there.
Well, we want to be sure, because we know for children, birth to 5 is an extreme time of rapid growth development and brain development. 1 to 3 is critical. We need to make sure that foundation is being set, because that is, research has shown, that is directly tied to a child's success later in life. And so if we can captivate those areas and make sure that those child care centers are providing responsive caregiving, providing a engaging indoor and outdoor environment, providing the directors with quality program management. And also the big thing, and one of the things that Texas Rising Star measures, is the type of child and teacher responses. And on our assessment, in the state's assessment, that is 40% of their score, is what kind of child and teacher interactions are taking place in the classroom. So we want to be sure those are quality-based interactions.
Most definitely. Wow, fantastic. So if someone out there is like over a childcare center and they want to get involved, can they do that? Can they come to you? What does that process look like?
The first thing they have to do is really go through childcare regulations, and they have to have either a licensed, registered home situation, or they have a childcare center. And once they have had that, they can sign a commitment with us as a childcare provider, and then after a year, that childcare provider, as being a contracted provider, then they can start the process of becoming a Texas Rising Star Center.
Okay.
And so that's a 3-year commitment. And each one of the first year is a assessment that is announced, and I go in and work with them to be sure they know what's going on. The other 2 years, it is an unannounced visit. And so we want to be sure that quality-based instruction is continuing on. Then once they get to their 3rd year, then it's a recertification again, and the process continues.
Okay.
So these child care centers are under what is called a CQIP, a quality improvement plan, and so they are always striving to make sure that quality is above and beyond. So parents and families need to say, are you a Texas Rising Star Center? Because if that's the case, that staff, that director, they are being worked with to provide that education and interaction and engagement for those children.
Very important. Wonderful information, ladies. Thank you so much. Do y'all have any final thoughts or messages that you want to share, or information that you want to get out there? We covered a lot. I know we covered a lot. Well, fantastic. Well, thank y'all again so much for coming on and giving us this very important information.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. Hey, folks, that's all for right now, but we'll see you next time on Career Day. Have a great day.